What's up, everybody? Mr. Honey K, a day in the flesh, and today we are talking about baby daddies at war. One goes to prison, and one goes to the cemetery. That's right. The appeal of Dedrick Willis is back from the Minnesota Court of Appeals, and his conviction was affirmed. He will be staying in prison for 12 years, and Theodore Collins is still dead. He was the baby daddy that was killed over this dispute. Now, if you remember correctly, I told you about guys about this case. We had Theodore Collins. That was my old friend. We were friends before he was killed. We fell out before he was killed, and we had Dedrick Willis. Dedrick Willis is the new baby daddy of Theodore Collins's baby mama. They had two kids together. The new baby daddy had one child with Theodore Collins's baby mama. So let me give you guys a little background on the characters just so I can get you guys caught up. Number one, I don't know Dedrick. Dedrick is the guy who's serving a 12-year prison sentence right now for killing TC. I don't know TC's the baby mama either. I just talked to her on the phone a few times after the murder occurred, and she was there when the incident happened, standing there at the car with the kids when this incident occurred. I knew TC. Me and him and I were friends, but we ended up falling out because of his mentality. So when this incident happened, I wasn't really surprised that he got killed in the way he got killed, because he got killed because he slapped another black man in the face in front of the man's kids, in front of the man's baby mama, his girl. He humiliated them. So, as a result of slapping this man in his face, tried to humiliate him and embarrass him. The man, who was a lot smaller than TC, as you can see, TC's a big guy. He was a big guy, 6 foot, maybe one, um, well into 230s, 240, 250 pounds. It could be pretty intimidating, especially if you're a small guy. So, uh, bullets stand no chance against, I'm sorry, muscle stands against no chance against bullets. So TC lost that battle. And that's what led to the criminal case that came about. And,
Guys, first of all, what I'm gonna
it's
do is I'm gonna let you
unfortunate,
listen
but
to the
this is how it took
911
place.
call.
The 911 call that took place when the shooting happened. So, the baby mama who was there, who TC had two children with, she called 911, and when she called 911, TC was dying on the ground. And so, as TC's dying on the ground, TC's fiance pulled up. Now, I got to give TC's fiance a lot of credit. She was a ride or die. Her and TC had recently had a child. The child was about 2 years old, and they were really rocking and rolling. She pulls up, and then she sees a TC shot, because I guess TC told her to come or whatever it was. She pulls up, gets out the car, gun in hand. She starts shooting at the guy, Dedrick, who had just shot TC, and TC was dying on the ground. Those are the gunshots that you guys hear in the background when the police dispatch, as the police is on their way to the scene, and you can hear the police talk about they're still shooting. Just listen to it, and that's as them they're also arresting Dedrick as he's running away with the gun.
Code 404, copy.
At 8:31.
And 420 on the verge to shoot.
420, copy.
430, send it.
Copy. And for cars responding on the shooting, just that information, the suspect is known to the calling party here. Suspect Dedrick Willis, 26 years old, wearing jeans. The suspect's supposed to be outside in front. And also, for cars responding on the shooting, the suspect's supposed to be in front of 2422 Emerson. Unknown description. This caller's reporting he's a medium to thin build, wearing a white and black Leatherman jacket, and the suspect is still seen.
420, I'm at Emerson and Broadway. I'll be there shortly.
I copy. And for cars, 2422 Emerson's reporting this male's walking southbound towards 24th and Emerson.
Out with him. He's gonna run northbound. Out with him. I think he's got a gun in his hand still. Yep, he's got a gun in his hand. Oh, they're still shooting. Shots fired. 424 pen and send it.
Heat cars to start.
Back female.
Heat cars to start 24th and Emerson. We have shots being fired. Officers are on scene chasing one. Any cars available, channel 2.
Go ahead. Priority.
Go ahead.
Black female, black thread, gray shirt, blue jeans, out in front, about mid-block.
Repeating. Suspect, black female, black dress, gray shirt, blue jeans.
We want 430. We got a gun recovered from 2414. We got one male victim. Emma, rescue code 3.
Copy. Are you code 4 for them? Can medical approach? Is it code 4?
All right, 420. I'm code 4. We have one suspect here at 25th and Emerson in custody. Shots were not fired by officers. As those arriving, shots from in front of the address, Maya came towards the squad car. All officers are code 4.
I copy that. All officers are code 4. It is code 4 for medical. Suspects in custody, 25th and Emerson. Medical code 3. And 420, if you can, do you want these other cars from other precincts to continue in?
Yeah, let's keep a couple coming for now, but we can code 4 this income routine. Everybody's secured.
I copy that. Officers continue in, but you can respond code 2. Again, code 2 response. I'll code 4 this citywide.
So, guys, that is the police dispatch of the actual arrest of Dedrick. You could hear the gunshots going off as the police are coming up because the fiance, TC's girlfriend, just is pulling up. She sees TC shot. Dedrick is trying to get away, walk away because he doesn't want a confrontation. She gets out of the car with a gun. He takes off running. He's running literally towards the police with his gun in his hand. And the girl stands in the middle of the street and shoots at Dedrick as he's running down the street, missing the cop car and missing Dedrick. And Dedrick gets arrested. So does the girlfriend, but they let the girlfriend go. And the girlfriend was, like I said, TC's girlfriend who was on her way to the scene before TC was shot. So that's how the first part took place. Crazy. But she was a ride or die. I don't know how many of y'all out there girlfriends gonna pull up blazing a gun when they see you on the ground when you shot bleeding. But she definitely was a rider for that one. But she just came a little too late because it was gonna be war. It was gonna be war. If it was gonna be beef, it was gonna be beef. But the bottom line was TC should have never put his hands on that man. But this is how the case played out because let's get back to the original point. TC slapped this man in his face. He wanted to claim self-defense. Hey, TC's a guy 6'1", 200 something pounds. He slapped the dog crap out of me. I should get off. That's what he was trying to claim. Did it work? It didn't. And this is why. So this is the appeal, guys. This is the appeal that Dedrick Willis filed to try to get his conviction overturned. And he only used 2 issues to try to fight his appeal. So let's remember, he was convicted of second-degree unintentional felony murder. He got sentenced to 12 years. He got to do about 7 on that before he's released on supervised release. So they gave the rundown exactly how it happened in the appeal. So they said, respondent state of Minnesota charged appellant Dedrick Maurice Willis with 1 count of second-degree murder with intent, not premeditated, under Minnesota statute 609-19. Before trial, the state orally amended the charge to add a second count of murder in the second degree unintentional under Minnesota Code 609-19, subsection 2-1. The following summarizes the evidence received at Willis's jury trial. In April 2022, Willis was living with his girlfriend, DM, in an apartment in Minneapolis, along with their infant daughter and 2 of DM's sons, son 1 and son 2, who are 10 and 11 years old. On the morning of April 29th, 2022, Willis and DM were getting ready for work, and the children were getting ready for school. DM asked son 1 to take out the trash, which he was supposed to do the night before. Son 1 stormed off, and DM told son 1 to put his phone down on her bed. While son 1 left his phone inside and took the trash out, son 1's father, TC, his real name is Theodore Collins, called him. When son 1 returned, Willis told son 1 to give his dad a call back. Son 1 called TC on a speakerphone. TC became upset when son 1 reported that Willis took son 1's cell phone. TC, who paid for the cell phone, told Willis not to take son 1's cell phone. The conversation escalated, and DM and TC were combative with each other. TC told Willis that he had been giving Willis a pass for too long and that he was ready to beat Willis's ass because Willis thought he was a father to TC's kids. The call ended with TC saying that he was going to just come over and get the phone. Willis did not expect that TC would come over because TC had never been to their home before. After that call, the children got in DM's car. Remember, DM is the mom. When DM followed them outside, She saw TC's car parked across the street and TC standing over by her car on the passenger side talking to son 2. DM and TC started arguing. Willis then came outside. Willis had a permit to carry a concealed firearm, and he was carrying a firearm that day. When Willis approached, TC came around the vehicle and got into Willis's personal space. Willis testified that TC was angry, his eyes were bloodshot red, and he seemed really agitated. Willis testified that he asked TC to please get out of his face and that TC struck Willis relatively hard on his cheek. Willis fell back. TC kept coming and had his hand up like he was about to hit Willis again. As TC was about to strike, Willis drew his weapon and fired. TC and Willis were about 3 feet apart when Willis fired. TC ran behind DM's car. Willis fired multiple rounds in the air to scare TC off and to alert the police to come to the scene. Willis saw TC lying on the ground, and DM called 911. While Willis and DM were waiting for emergency services to arrive, another car pulled up. TC's fiance got out of the car with her gun in her hand.
Fourth and Emron.
Out with him. He's gonna run northbound. Out with him. I think he's got a gun in his hand still. Yep, he's got a gun in his hand. Oh, they're still shooting. They're still shooting. Shots fired. 424 Penn send it.
She pointed it at Willis, who ran away. As he ran, Willis saw a marked squad car, and released the magazine from his gun, threw it on the ground, put the gun on the ground, and got on his stomach. Law enforcement took Willis to custody. TC later died from the gunshot wound. During Willis's jury trial in November 2022, the state called 14 witnesses, including a 911 dispatcher, TC's sibling, several law enforcement officers, TC's fiance, 3 forensic scientists, and the medical examiner. DM and Willis also testified. The district court instructed the jury on self-defense. The jury found Willis not guilty of second-degree intentional murder and guilty on second-degree unintentional felony murder. The district court convicted Willis and sentenced him to 150 months in prison. Willis appeals. So, guys, let me make sure I want to cut to the chase on this. You know, he files an appeal, right? He only filed 2 grounds. One of the grounds was some BS. It was about a juror who was sleeping or smoking weed or something. That wasn't really important because I didn't feel like he was going to win it. The other one was about his self-defense claim that was shot down. And, you know, he shot a guy who basically slapped the taste out of his mouth. You know, and I didn't think he was going to win it anyway. But the killer part was, and this is something that I learned from reading the appeal, is that TC Theodore Collins, the one who was killed, he was doing coke. It says right here, any error in the district court's exclusion of the toxicology analysis showing that cocaine was in TC's blood was harmless beyond a reasonable doubt. A medical examiner and pathologist conducted an autopsy of TC and prepared a report. Among other things, the report included a toxicology analysis, which showed that TC had 130 nanogram per milliliter of cocaine in his blood. The medical examiner office also provided a toxicology report which stated the effects following the cocaine use can include euphoria, excitement, recklessness, risk-taking, sleep disturbance, and aggression. So the state had moved to preclude Willis, the defendant, from referring to anything dealing in TC's toxicology report. And I thought that was strange. Number one, I didn't know TC did coke. That was a complete bogus move on his part. So he showed up tripping over his baby mama, probably mad that this new young dude is putting Piper in. This young dude, Willis, he wasn't even a gangster. He was just a nice guy, you know, trying to do his thing. He had a concealed weapon permit, never been in trouble with the law before as far as felony convictions. And he got put in a position where he basically got humiliated. And this guy comes over mad that he's piping his baby mama down, got a new baby with her and whatever. And according to from what I understand, they didn't even know that TC knew where they lived. But since TC gave the cell phone to the son, he probably was tracking his location and went by the house and saw the car and was able to track where she lived. So TC had coke in his blood when he did this, slapped the guy. The guy kills him. The guy wants to use the coke and the evidence of a toxicology report, and the judge doesn't allow him to do it. Doesn't allow him to do it. Says no, it's not. You know, it doesn't matter. It's going to outweigh. It's going to confuse the jury. So you can't do it. And the appeals court held it up. They said nope. All of your efforts to try to tarnish this man, talk about him having coke in his blood, is irrelevant. You can't use it. Focus on self-defense. You shot him after a slap. It wasn't a deadly assault. It wasn't with a weapon. you shot and killed a man. So you have to deal with the consequences. Hope the jury doesn't convict you. And of course, they convicted him on second degree unintentional murder, and he was sentenced to 150 months in prison as a result of that. So this was a sad case overall. This is a good guy. He has to do the whole 12 years. I hope Dedrick, gets out. He gets out. They say he's eligible to come out in 2030, which is in approximately another 6 years. That he comes out on supervised release, as long as he doesn't get in trouble and get his sentence extended. But I think it's unfortunate. And just going down the characters in this situation, Dedrick, 12 and a half years in prison. He let TC crash him out. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped being friends with TC. I thought he was dumb. I thought he was always felt like he had to prove something because he wanted to be tough. And seeing the way he died, it seems like my situation, my thoughts were correct about him. I'm happy I terminated my relationship with him before he dies. It's sad that he's gone, but the fact of the matter is when you're reckless and dumb, you're going to find yourself in those situations where you may lose your life or cause somebody else to lose their life because of your stupidity. What if he would have had a friend with him? What if he would have came over there and called his boy up, called me up and said, hey, man, I got a problem. I'm going to go there check my baby mama. I'm not supposed to know where she lives, but I'm going to go over there and check her because I'm really mad that somebody else is putting pipe in her and got a baby with her. So I want to go over there and I'm salty about that. And he would have got more than one person hurt other than himself. So it's sad that Dedrick got caught up in this situation. This is why I always tell people, don't date women with kids. It's not worth it. Don't date a woman with no kids, especially multiple kids. That woman that he was with already had 2 kids by TC. So maybe he just loved her, but unfortunately, it cost him a lot. And I definitely would not have been messing with a woman with those type of credentials. The baby mama, I talked to her. She, left in a situation where, now she got to raise up these 2 sons on her own. The baby mama that was there when the shooting happened, the 2 kids, TC's 2 sons. What about them? Now they grew up without a father. TC was a hands-on father. TC enjoyed being a father. Those are not just 2 kids, it's 3 kids because 2 little boys and the little girl. And Lord knows he may have had even other children. But the little girl that was just 2 years old, what about her? He was, in love with his daughter. The 2 boys, the boy that called him, his own son crashed him out. His son lied to him, made it seem like the man took his phone. That man didn't take his phone. The mama took the phone because the boy didn't take the trash out. But TC was so salty about this man putting pipe in his baby mama that he can't think straight. And he coked out his mind. So it cost him his life. Everybody got to think about these situations. Don't deal with women with kids. And men, use your brain. These women and kids ain't worth crashing your life out over. I tell people that all the time. No, these women will be out. I guarantee these women are out dating, having sex, and doing things with new men now. And now the 2 men are in jail and one is dead. At least one has an opportunity to come out and get his life together. But TC is gone. And TC was just coming over there really mad about this man took his phone. I know how aggressive and upset a man can get over something dealing with his child. Believe me, I know. Because these women will put you in a position or triangulate you and put you in a situation where you will go to the penitentiary or you're going to the cemetery. I see it every day. People have done it to me before. And that's why I have no problem when these situations develop. I have no problem cutting these women off and leaving them alone altogether because it's not worth your time, your freedom, or your life. And to TC's fiance, she's moved on. She's doing well in business now. TC was a man. She loved him. And she really, really was hurt by what happened to him. And I understand why. They had a daughter together. She has other children. She seems, from all I can see, she's a good mom. And she busted her gun for the man to try to kill the guy who just shot TC. It's unfortunate that people find themselves in these situations and these kids are now growing up without a father and situation like that. But, this is when you deal with reckless, stupid people like TC was, because TC was the idiot here. He set everything off. He humiliated the man right in front of his baby mama and kids, slapped him. And that's worse than a punch. Black people know, black men know, you don't slap a black man. You don't stump a black man. You don't slap a black man. You don't spit on a black man unless you're ready to go to the penitentiary or lose your life. And that's the bottom line. I think in this incident, it happened just a few months after the incident happened with Chris Rock and Will Smith. And I saw a lot of people throughout the United States in 2022 getting shot and killed, black people behind getting slapped that year. And I think Will Smith inspired a lot of men to slap other black men. And that was a very, very poor decision because this happened just 2 or 3 months after after Will Smith did that to Chris Rock. And I think that's what TC was thinking. He was thinking, I saw this happen on TV, and this is a good way to humiliate somebody, and I'm going to try it. Unfortunately, you can't test everybody gangster. Just because a person ain't tough in your eyes don't mean they won't knock your head off your shoulders. And nobody's bulletproof and nobody's immortal. And that's the problem. A lot of people don't recognize that. They think they tough. So TC, he got what he had coming to him. He definitely got what he had coming to him. You slap a man, especially a black man, you're going to have to deal with those consequences. Because I know right now, if I'm in front of my wife and kids and anybody, I don't care who it is, he slapped me, believe me, those same type of results are going to happen. And I'm willing to take the consequences as a result of it. Because it's just simply too humiliating. I wouldn't want to go home and face my wife. I wouldn't want to have to go home and face my wife every day and knowing that she saw a grown man slap the taste out of my mouth. Because every time we argue, she's going to say the kids saw it happen to me. The kids may say, that's why my daddy slapped you. Are you kidding me? Man, let me do that prison time. Dedrick right now sitting in prison. Yes, he's sitting in prison doing his time. And he got to deal with the consequences of what he did. But the humiliation of living the rest of his life in front of his wife, his kid, his girl, his kid, his stepchildren that he was raising, TC was saying that the dude thinks he's his father. This wasn't a phone call saying you're abusing his kids. This was the phone call saying the kid didn't take the trash out. Do your chores. And this is what it turned into. I feel like going to prison is less humiliating than people knowing that I just got slapped by another man, because he played on TC played on Dedrick's very baseline drive in mankind when it comes to men to other men. And that's the desire to be respected and to be feared and to just being treated like a man. And when you slap a man, you really treat him like a bitch, like a little kid, like a nothing, like you're nothing. And, I think that's why that happened. And finally, and I can't leave this out, to see TC's children, especially his little girl, now she has to live without a father because her father was stupid. I hope she grows up, and I hope his kids learn from that, because his son, crashed his father out, sent him on a crash mission. But this little girl now has to grow up without a father in her life, a father who seemed like he would have been there and tried to really be loving. TC was a loving, good dude, but he had issues. He had a lot of issues battling with what he wanted to be in the streets. He wanted to be a super crip. He wanted to be a gangster, but really, he was really just a nice guy and wanted to be a father. He really forgot that's more important to be a man than it is to be a gangster or to try to fit in. And that's what cost him his life. So he tried to slap a person who didn't even want no beef, who didn't want no problems. And now this little girl has to be raised without a father, without a mentor, without a leader, because TC definitely would have been that man in her life. And that's unfortunate. Anyway, we all learn from this, guys. And I hope you guys learn. Do not be stupid like TC. Do not be stupid like TC. Don't put another man in a position to have to hurt you or embarrass you or kill you. Because it will happen. It will happen if you press a person to do so. Anyway, this is Mr. 100K a day. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And just give me a feedback. Tell me in the comments if you think that TC got what he deserved. Did Dedrick deserve to go to prison? She'd have gotten more time. He only got 12 years, 12 and a half years or so. She'd have gotten more prison time. What do you guys think? Was this a fair outcome? Did TC get what he deserved? I don't know. Just give me your comments, questions, thoughts, or whatever. And till next time, peace.